Hey everyone, welcome back to the Broken Shifter podcast. We may have missed Darlington, but Richmond was a joy. Probably the best race we've had in a long time. Darlington should have been that race.
And two of us missed it.
I'm the only one that actually watched the race, but they've done their race recaps and stuff like that. A lot of news during the week leading up to the chase, which was kind of surprising, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, what we got is run down to Richmond. We're going to give you the chase standings at the end, where I think we all can agree Martin Truex Jr. is locked in. And then our picks, obviously, as we always do. And anyways, I'm Hurdon.
I'm Carbon.
And I'm Caboose.
All right. So we'll run down a very similar scenario to stage wins for the season, because it's kind of, besides the first two races of the year where Kevin Harvick won some stages, it's kind of just been Truex, Kyle Busch, and Kyle Larson all year long. Daniel Suarez snuck one in there. Other than that, it's just nobody else is winning the stages. So Kyle Busch wins stage 1, Truex wins stage 2. Larson wins on a great pit stop, plus Truex kind of being blocked in to his pit stall on the final pit stop on what was a bullshit caution. But we'll get to that bullshit caution later on. So, the final was Larson, Logano, who almost made it in. He finished second, but it wasn't really that close. Newman, who is, I don't understand. He just seems to be there in clutch races. Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin, who probably prevented Martin Truex Jr. from having a shot at winning the race. Toyota seemed to be getting angry at each other. I would like some opinions on that, because I'm seeing a lot of Kyle Busch versus Truex, Hamlin versus Truex. It seems to be that even though they're all Joe Gibbs affiliated, shit's going a different direction.
You know what I smell? Sabotage. I'm sensing some funky shit happening with the 77 and the 78. So, it's going to be interesting seeing how the playoffs go with that. Especially
I'm
with
sensing
the shit
a
that
lot
they
of
keep pulling on each other.
I'm sensing that JGR themselves is pissed off that Truex is outrunning them. Because this is twice Truex has been wrecked by a JGR car when he's up front.
Yep, and this is the second year that Truex has a faster JGR equipment car than JGR themselves.
When was the second time?
Last year.
Or the first
Last
time,
year he had a fairly dominant car all in all against Toyota or Joe Gibbs while running Joe Gibbs equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, once again, he's dominant in the same equipment that the rest of the
But
JGR
more
guys
dominant.
are. But more dominant. And
Yes,
there was
driver.
some
Kevin
and there
Harvick
was
from
some
2 years ago.
fishy shit going on. There was
Yeah,
some
Everyone
and I
fishy
love
shit
Martin
going on
Truex.
last year.
Everyone claims that Kyle Busch is the best driver in NASCAR. I personally think Truex is. Just after seeing this season, at least. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about past seasons, but just out of this season, I have no doubt that Truex is the best driver, I think, in NASCAR.
He's not as reckless as Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch
Yeah, he also
is
doesn't use
probably
anger against things.
right. He maintains his.
Indy might have been a different story. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was an accident. But
Truex maintains his temper. Kyle Busch does not, and that's Kyle Busch's downfall. If he could maintain his temper, he'd be the best driver in NASCAR.
yeah.
Truex, however, has been in bad equipment and he's finally got a car that he can run with. He did it back when it was the Nationwide Series. He won a championship. under DEI, I believe it was, at the time. He ran for DEI in the Cup Series. Wasn't great, but that was after Dale Sr.'s death, the downfall of DEI. And Truex is proving to be a great driver, but we're seeing the rise of small teams. Chip Ganassi Racing, not a small team. That's the leftovers of DEI. And they're coming back. And Kyle Larson, being such a great driver, has pushed them to the forefront. McMurray's not doing bad, but he's no Kyle Larson at this point. And Truex pushing Furniture Row, which is based out of Denver, the only one that's not based out of Charlotte. He's pushing them to the forefront. He's making everybody look stupid.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Joe Gibbs Racing equipment out there in Denver, but they're doing something right, and it's going to be interesting seeing how the rest of it all pans out as the chase goes on. And like I said, I smell sabotage like last year because there was some fishy shit that happened last year.
Well, the thing is,
which was,
you got to think about it. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, but you got to think about it this way. When you've got these small teams running really well and the big teams struggling to keep up, they start getting pissed off. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson. I mean, when Jimmy Johnson can't even post a top 10, something's wrong because he can drive.
Yep.
I don't like him, but he can drive his ass off. There's a major issue at this point.
Hey, Justin, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the top 25 in points right now? I'm curious how many single car or two car teams are in the top 25, like non-big name teams.
Okay, I can tell you
so
that.
Something like
there's
Busher,
in the top. You want it in the chase?
In the top 25 overall.
Okay, Martin Truex Jr. first, Kyle Larson second, Brad Keselowski fourth. Then we go down. Ricky Stenhouse. Are they a two-car team now at Roush, or is it three?
Yep. It's the 17 and the 6.
Ricky Stenhouse, he's 8th. Ryan Blaney in a single-car team. Ryan Newman's on a 3-car team, so that one doesn't count. Austin Dillon is still a 3-car team. Jamie McMurray's in there. Those are in the chase, so we got one... Hold on. Let me recount this real quick. Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, that's 2. Brad Keselowski is 3. Grant Penske's good. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 4. Ryan Blaney, 5. Jamie Murray, 6. So 6 out of the top 16 are 2 or less cars.
Now, granted, some of those teams, they're exact copy-paste equipment going from one to the other.
3 of them are top
brothers. Like the Wood Brothers vehicle, they legitimately paint and everything the vehicle at Penske, and then they just ship it off to the Wood Brothers to do whatever they need to get done.
So, yeah, I mean,
but keep going. What else is left in the top 25?
Trevor Bayne at Roush, Joey Logano, Ty Dillon, and Michael McDowell.
And if you were to go back about
Chris
2
Buescher
years ago,
right behind it with the ding-a-ling right behind.
Yeah, you go back 2 3 years. That was pretty much not even going to happen. Maybe one of those cars. Maybe one of those
absolutely
not as well-funded teams might have made it, but that's it.
You're not going to see somebody like Chris Buescher in a subpar car that's running 30 less horsepower go up there and run top 15. It just doesn't happen. And this year it has. So the competitiveness has come back, and we've had some really boring races. But I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kyle Larson. Came over the radio halfway through the race or so, and he was like, all these people that aren't locked into the chase all of a sudden decided to show up tonight. And I think that was when he was getting passed by Dale Earnhardt Jr. So, I think we need to give a shout out to Dale Jr. They got the car decent for once, and they took a gamble. It didn't pay off. They were hoping for a caution. It didn't happen. We did see 4 wide racing at Richmond again, and
Yeah, right off the bat.
it was
They were
interesting.
like, oh yeah, we're doing a 4 wide salute, and then suddenly everybody's like, we should do this. We should actually start this. And then
Yeah,
what
it
happens
was-
when the race starts? It went 4 wide.
It did wind up going 4 wide, which Richmond. Okay, I've been to Richmond, personal experience, probably 7 or 8 times, and 2 wide was maximum, and then they started going 3 wide, and I'm like, this is getting stupid, and now they want to go 4 wide. Like, holy shit, man, y'all have lost your fucking mind. Yeah. All right. So Austin Dillon and Danica had a little bit of an issue. Oh, did you have something?
No, I was just gonna say let's lead into this.
Oh yeah.
Hey, aren't they
Austin Dillon
remodeling?
and Danica.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're going to remodel the inside of the track to make it more fan interactive. But needless to say, the 3 and the 10 couldn't get along. Danica had a fast car. She was driving a good race. I'm not a Danica fan, but she was driving
by
a
any
good
means.
race. She had enough of Austin Dillon blocking her, so she gave him a nudge. She just gave him a nudge in the wrong area of the track. She gave him a nudge going off in the turn, which you don't do at Richmond unless you're Kyle Busch and you wreck Dale Earnhardt Jr. So she nudges him going into the turn. He drifts way up the track, comes back, catches back up to her, and blatantly turns her on purpose. And I don't have a problem with Austin Dillon, but it was kind of a dick move. Opinions?
From
To
what
be
I
honest,
saw,
I
I didn't
think-
see a lot of the racing, but it definitely looked like basically Danica rear-ended Dillon because he was going too slow. She finally got around him. He got pissed or something. I don't know. I don't know what else happened other than that because it seemed like there was more. And then he got around her, or she got around him, and I don't know what he did. It kind of did look intentional. At least what I saw on Radioactive, it looked intentional because he kind of came down at her. Like it just didn't make sense the way he hit her. But-
She ran into him because she was trying to pass him for like fucking 10 laps and wouldn't get out of the way. I mean, I don't blame her. You got to put the bumper to somebody at some point and be like, look, motherfucker, I'm faster. Get the hell on out the way. I mean, hold me up for 2 or 3 laps. That's fine, but get the hell on out of the way after that if I'm that much faster. And she had a fast race car. Caboose?
To be honest, I think Austin is definitely the more dickish brother. I mean, Ty,
Yeah, I
he's
like Ty.
the rough. Ty, he's the rougher driver, but he's a nicer driver. If that makes any sense. Like he'll actually
it kinda
get
does.
out of. He'll actually get out of the way if you're that much faster. He's not going to hold you up for 10 laps like Austin will.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I applaud Danica for moving his ass. Austin,
I
you can
mean-
kiss my ass. You're
Yeah.
being the assholes on all the NASCAR games. Oh, you're a little faster than me? I'm gonna block. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna block. And then eventually you move them, and then you get reported to Microsoft or PlayStation for being a cheating bitch, and and then you're the one. that
Torn
gets
right now.
penalized.
Who's going to be the first out of the playoff? Austin Dillon or Kane? It's a really tough choice.
We'll get to that when we get down to the chase. We'll go through that. We'll do our final four and stuff like that. But anyways, all right, let's get past the Danica incident and stuff because this is starting to carry on a little long. All right, so we had probably one of the most controversial incidents at Richmond of the past 5 years or so. I think it's probably the most controversial thing that's happened since Juan Pablo Montoya hit a jet dryer at Daytona and exploded. So the green light comes on for pit road, and an ambulance pulls out and stops dead nuts right in front of pit road. And there's like just a wee little bit of room, just enough to be inside of the commitment line and still get down pit road. And it wound up ruining Clint Boyer's race. It wound up ruining Matt Kenseth's race. And Clint Boyer had a shot at it, so did Matt Kenseth. Kenseth still...
The worst part
Kenseth
is both of them were my
I was
picks.
getting kicked. And Boyer was not in the chase. Wait, Boyer's not in the chase, right?
Boyer
not
missed
in
it.
chase.
Boyer missed it.
Yeah,
He was
right on
one
it.
person out. Yep. And
Okay,
this
so
is all NASCAR's
with that
fault.
incident,
They didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
they were like, they turned the green light on for
it's
pit
not
road.
NASCAR's fault, actually, from the sound of it. They were listening, some people were listening to one of the radios or whatever, and they were telling the ambulance to move, and he wouldn't move. He was ignoring them. So they don't know if it was like a faulty radio or something like that, but he was just not moving. He wouldn't
But
move.
why would you stop in front of pit road
why.
with pit road open? Do you think
That's what they're trying to... That's what they were saying, like...
the green
NASCAR
light's
kept telling him,
on?
"Move, get out of the way. Get off the freaking pit road." And he just parked it there and sat there.
Can he not
So
see the
that's why I was
green
reading
fucking
information on that.
flashing light in front of him?
I don't know what he was... Nobody knows what he was doing, if that was the case. If that's the truth. behind it.
Absolutely stupid. And people started running into each other and
I
stuff
still
like that.
think-
Nobody got penalized for that, though, and I think that was a good call on NASCAR. Because Kyle Busch missed it.
Yeah.
He went back out on the track and came back in. I hate Kyle Busch, but at the same time, he came back in. He was like, I'll take the penalty.
Well, when you can't hit the commitment line.
I mean, there's a fucking
you don't have a
goddamn
choice.
ambulance in the middle of the goddamn track, right in front of pit road. And I mean, he was like a couple of feet from the line. It wasn't even close.
Did they give Kenseth and Boyer... So were their cars, like, done the second they parked?
Kenseth
or
went to
did
the
they
garage.
actually give them time to fix their cars and get
Nope,
back up?
Kenseth had to go to the garage.
Were they still given that stupid 5-minute shit? Because they should have...
Yep.
If that's the case, they should have been like, okay, you guys have as much time as you need to get your cars back out
It wouldn't
there.
have mattered.
This is our fault.
Wouldn't have mattered. Too much damage. Boyer got hit from
It didn't
behind.
look like there was that much damage.
Well, see, Boyer slowed down.
Kenseth did not look like he had that much damage.
He busted his radiator.
Well, he should have been allowed to freaking replace the radiator.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It was
I
an
don't know if they carry spares or not. but
incident involving another car.
They probably could have...
At that
Doesn't
point,
matter. It was fucking caused by NASCAR.
it doesn't matter. He would have been.
They should have allowed him to have a chance again.
But by the time he would have
Get back out
replaced that radiator, he
At
would have
least
been.
get some points.
He would have been what 25 laps down, and his position differential would have been maybe 1 or 2. He still made the chase. Boyer's the one that suffered because he
No
got
points.
hit from behind, and then wound up damaging the front of the car because he got hit from behind.
I don't know. The whole thing seemed fishy. To be honest.
It was the dumbest thing ever. It's always Richmond where controversial shit happens, and it seems to always involve Clint Boyer, just like the little spinning incident where Michael Waltrip
Is your
lost
arm itchy?
their entire team pretty much. Yeah. Is your arm itchy? Yeah, let's go back to that little scenario a couple of years ago. Michael Waltrip Racing does not exist anymore because of that incident. But we can all agree that how the fuck are you going to have an ambulance there? The green light's flashing right in your face. You know pit road's open. And you're just going to park right in front of pit road. I'm dumber than shit. Okay. So we saw the late race incident where basically changed the outcome of the race. Truex has a huge lead. Derek Cope, who is like 104 years old, scrapes the wall. I mean, not enough to leave debris on the track because nobody's running up against the wall that goddamn high. Scrapes the wall, no smoke or anything like that. Caution comes out. But earlier in the race, a week ago, Matt Kenseth spins the tires coming through the turn, slides them, and they throw a caution because they see smoke coming out from his car. So, where's the line that NASCAR is drawing here? Kenseth slides the tires, it burns a little rubber. No worse than doing a burnout. Just he was drifting the turn. He didn't hit the wall. Caution comes out. And
Now, with that caution, with Kenseth getting sideways, did they call it almost immediately, or did they wait a minute until after he got going?
Instantly.
Yeah,
And
there was no hesitance behind it at all.
Derek Cope scrapes the wall, and they're sitting there, and they're just like,
So
let's wait a minute.
What I think was happening.
No, I was saying that's what NASCAR's saying. Let's wait a minute, you know.
I think.
Or no.
When it
The
came to Matt
Kenseth
and-
incident was at Richmond. Excuse me. I was thinking about another incident the week before. Let me correct myself real quick, and then I'll let you carry on.
Yeah.
Somebody hit the wall.
So they called it
the week
instantly.
before.
Like he was.
Yeah, all he did was
So
slide the
Kenseth,
tires.
he was dead sideways. And
Not dead sideways. He just
was
the
drifting.
right rear stepped out. That was it.
It was like nothing.
He
He was like, oh, sorry. Oh, okay, I'm back in line again. All good.
yeah, and they.
Oh, caution.
Now I
it
was
very fucking
thinking,
caution.
if he was like dead sideways, but then caught it, like Kyle Busch at Daytona a few years ago, then I would see. Yeah, I can see why they might have like panically hit the caution buzzer because that would look like something that would have gotten far worse. But
No,
if it
this
was
is
just
not
like a
like that at
little
all.
like, if it was just a little bit like, oh, I just got a little too loose, a little bit of smoke came out, then no.
I might be wrong on exactly what I'm saying, but no, they had.
Yes, you're right. Kenseth got out in this race in stage 1, like right off the bat, pretty much. And they called the caution immediately, and then they took forever to call that caution on 15.
But the week before, somebody hit the wall. Or no, it wasn't. It might not have been the week before, but I know at one point they had a driver scrape the wall less than Derek Cope did at the Richmond race, and no caution. They let it go green the rest of the way. It was when Denny Hamlin won, whatever race he won. I can't remember. Recently, it was Darlington, so it was last week.
Darlington?
Yeah.
I remember that happening, though.
So a car hits the wall, much harder, no caution. At Richmond, and Derek Cope barely hit the wall. He didn't hit it hard at all. There was no reason that they couldn't have let him get down to the apron, keep it under green, let Truex win the damn race. But guess what? It cost Truex the race. So, sorry for any confusion in those
And
comments.
a car.
It may have started the cause in his loss, but I think his pit crew kind of lost him that race. They should have been a lot faster.
It wasn't.
Larson's pit
It
crew
wasn't.
on fire.
The Larson's pit crew was great, but however, Truex was blocked
And
in.
then Hamlin. I think Truex got kind of knocked out because of 3 different reasons.
Truex, even though he's won 18 stages now, not a lot of luck.
Something like that.
Not a whole lot of
Not
luck.
for finishes. Well, he's won like 4 races.
Yeah, I mean he's
I
fine.
wouldn't say he doesn't
He
have a lot of luck. I think he's just.
he's gonna cruise control into.
I think
round
people are
2.
honestly getting sick of him winning.
I don't mind. I really don't.
A lot of fans are getting sick of him winning. So it wouldn't surprise me if people
So,
are seeing that, and
having said that,
that's where his bad luck is coming from.
yeah. So we got a very hectic
Final lap.
restart after Derek Cope hit the wall. 77 had some problems, and then that caused a lot of problems for a lot of other cars. And then, out of nowhere, Denny Hamlin decided to dump Truex. And, I mean, it couldn't have
It
looked...
looked intentional.
It couldn't have looked more intentional than that.
And even his interview afterwards.
He was
made it
smiling
sound
and
like it was
laughing.
intentional. Yeah. Like he didn't give a shit.
Yeah. It's like they teach that at JGR. Just, hey, be a douchebag and you'll be a great JGR driver. They got talent, but they're all dickheads. When Carl Edwards left, it's a team full of dickheads. I don't know much about Daniel Suarez, but Jesus, man.
He's gonna come across as one.
Denny Hamlin was not going to win that race. There was no way he could catch Larson. But he decided to dump Truex instead, and he did it for one damn reason. Because Truex has won too much, got too many playoff points, and he didn't want Truex having a shot at it. Just like Kyle Busch wrecking him earlier in the year. It's stupid. And I would not be surprised to see Truex fight back in the chase. I mean, he's pretty much got a pass through the first round because of all the bonus points. But he's going to fight back. He's not going to put up with that bullshit that Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, all them are doing. He's going to get sick of it eventually, and he's going to fight back. So, what do you think? And here's my question to y'all. Do you think Joe Gibbs Racing is pissed because they're providing Truex the equipment and he's outrunning them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And referring back to last year, the same shit. Truex outrunning JGR. All suddenly, his shit starts getting funky. His motor just blows up at Talladega when his shit's been running fine pretty much all year.
Right.
And JGR knows how to build a fucking motor.
That's
And
because
usually
Toyota
if
builds them.
one of the motors. Yeah. So usually if one motor goes, a few of them go because it's a bad part from the bin selection. But for only a single motor to go out, it's a little fishy for my liking.
Kind of like Dale Jr. and his broken shifters repeatedly a couple of years ago.
That's the name of this podcast.
That is the name of the podcast, and that's why it's named that. Yeah, Justin?
The conspiracy theorist in me wants to say, no, that sounds stupid and ridiculous, but at the same time, like, all the evidence is kind of adding up towards it. And JGR does come across as a team that doesn't want to lose. Like, nobody wants to lose in NASCAR, but this team comes across as somebody who is fully willing to ensure, like, they will do whatever it takes to make sure that they win, no matter what it is, as long as they don't get caught. And even then, they'll risk it. They're fully willing to risk it.
Well, Denny Hamlin got caught twice in one weekend.
Encumbered wins. 3 encumbered wins for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. And, yeah, so, well, they did say that Denny Hamlin's part was a part failure that happened on all 3 cars across Toyota or something like that. And
right.
they said if they...
What about all the other Toyotas?
Well, the 2 cars. But, well, they didn't catch any other Toyotas with it. They caught other Toyotas with it, but the parts didn't fail.
Or the Xfinity, excuse me.
What?
The Xfinity car is
No,
different.
I know, but they used this parter, but supposedly it was some part in the suspension that Toyota uses, and when it fails, it makes it look like it's an L1 failure or something like that, but it doesn't actually have any impact on the car or something like that. It was what they were saying.
Of course.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just going by what they were saying. I don't know.
Yeah, what they're saying probably isn't true.
It was penalized anyways.
We know how JGR rolls.
No, this was from NASCAR. This was from NASCAR.
Okay.
Not Toyota.
Yeah.
But they said they found it on every car, but even Logano's car had it apparently too. So I'm like, so where's the whole Toyota thing come from then? Because apparently Logano had the exact same thing,
Right.
like pinpoint, like, directly, exactly. So I don't know. I was confused about the whole wording about it.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyways,
So let's get on down to
the news.
yeah, the news. I guess that should be a segment, huh?
We got some people leaving
As we
or
predicted,
switching teams or something.
Danica Patrick would lose her ride at Stewart
God.
Haas.
Got the boot.
When GoDaddy went, you knew she was going to go. Tyler Reddick taking over for William Byron, which was a actual opposite prediction of what any of us were expecting. We were thinking Casey Kane would go take it down into the Xfinity Series for Junior Motorsports. That's not happening. Tyler Reddick's going to take that ride for William Byron, who's moving up into the 24 car. Almirola, he's peacing out. And Smithfield Foods is going from Richard Petty Motorsports. So it makes you wonder, where's that going to land? Because the 10 car is the car that's open.
Yep. And my theory is Eric Almirola is going to the 10.
I
Because
had that
Kane has
theory
already
originally.
confirmed.
But I question it, considering the fact I don't know, because Smithfield released a tweet basically saying that everything that RPM was saying was a lie, and like about the whole handshake thing, and regardless, it's just a handshake. It's not like it matters, and also that
Not a
the reason they're
contractual
leaving is
agreement.
because they are not competitive. Their drivers and their cars are not competitive. So
They
that's
want
why
more
I wonder,
airtime.
are Smithfield going to SHR because Eric's going to SHR, or is Smithfield going to SHR because they want to go to a better team, but they don't? Do they want Eric Amarola on the team?
Almirola
I
is
think
not
Eric's
a bad driver.
driver, but I don't think he's.
He's not
I don't
elite.
think he's going to be.
He's like Paul
Yeah, he's
Menard.
not going to be competitive with all these guys. He might get a win, the same way Casey Kane did, or something. Like that
However,
throughout the season. I wouldn't put him in the same driver category with Casey Kane, but just something like that as an example.
He could be
But-
more competitive than Danica in the same
I
equipment.
think he
Indeed.
will be more competitive than Danica.
But
Yeah, and
I just don't know
You've
if
still
it's
got
enough to
you've still got Kenseth.
justice or
Kenseth's up in
justify
the air.
putting him in it.
If Kenseth even
Matt
returns.
Kenseth confirmed he's not going to the 10 car. Casey Kane has confirmed he's not going to the 10 car. The only person that is not confirmed so far to
Almirola.
not be going to the 10 car is
So they're saying it's Amarola, or they might bring up one of their drivers from Xfinity. I can't remember who they were listing off.
I like Justin's call
Crossy,
on
something like that. Croft.
Crafton, Matt Crafton.
No, not the Toyota driver.
I
Let me
think
ask the truck drivers.
Justin's call on Bubba Wallace
Zero.
going to the 43, I think is a solid.
Yep.
I think.
That's not a call. That's actually confirmed.
Oh, has that
Yep.
has that been confirmed now?
Yeah,
Okay.
they confirmed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good call. I called William Byron getting called up this year, and everybody argued against me. But I said maybe it would be next year, but probably this year because he's done so damn well. And so we got William Byron, and then we got now Bubba Wallace is going to get his shot in the 43. He's not going to win
Jimmy
unless
Johnson
it's at a
surrounded
plate
by
track.
youngsters.
Yeah, pretty much. It ain't gonna be nothing
Can I discuss one thing real quick?
great. Yeah.
That has been a controversial topic as well. There's all these articles that keep going around that say with Danica and Junior leaving, NASCAR is going to be hurting extremely badly because they're going to be losing a lot of fans, which I do agree with. Like they're they're going to see a problem there with fan base.
I don't think
but
they're
I
going to
think
see
people
that.
there's enough. I think we'll see a drop off in fans. But what I don't think we'll see
Too
is
many good young
a drastic drop off, because there's a lot of people out there that other people like, and I think will gravitate towards. But that being said, at the same time, I think NASCAR hasn't done enough to combat that. Like, they are pushing so hard right now about Dale Jr.'s final year, and
they did it with
even
Tony
with
and
Danica,
Jeff
they've
too.
been pushing a lot of commercials and things like that with them, and they're not really pushing towards new drivers at all for fans. Like, they're not. I haven't seen that at all this season.
Well, you think most of these guys
As of
are
right
so
now,
young.
the only
Go ahead, Caboose.
the only way that the new drivers are getting recognition, apart from fans that watched him go from truck to Xfinity to Cup, Dale Jr. He's been asked, who should I root for? He doesn't go, oh, root for this guy. He goes, if you like this kind of driver, you might want to look at this guy and this guy. If you like this kind of driver, you might want to look at this guy and this guy. There's not gonna be a 100% replacement for me, but if you're looking for someone similar, look at this guy and this guy. And he's naming a bunch of young drivers. He named a couple older drivers like Keselowski.
He's the one
but
that
on the
found
most part-
Keselowski.
Yeah, but on the most part, he's just over here naming off the really young guys that are coming up through the sport, such as Eric Jones and
William Byron.
and more recently William Byron, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez.
We got a nice young influx. There is going to be a whole new fan base. Completely
Indeed. It's going to be weird.
new.
It's going to be weird.
And I like it, and I'm excited for it, because this has been a NASCAR season that has been better than the previous few seasons. They've altered it with these stages to where you see hard racing towards the end of the stages. The cautions create drama and stuff like that. They've done a decent job.
Do you think losing a female driver is going to hurt, though? Losing a lot of female fans. They look up to Danica as like a
I don't think
female driver to watch.
I don't think
even
the
if she's not
female
good.
fans are really that much into Danica. They want to see somebody running up front. They don't want to see somebody that runs 26.
I mean, I'd say I wouldn't. I can't really say that Danica's a bad driver, because she made it all the way to the freaking Cup Series. But
Well, I mean,
she's definitely
she's
not competitive with the elite.
no. I mean, she could
She's
probably outdrive all three of us. If the four of us were put on a track together, she'd outdrive us every time. However, she's
Unless
not.
it's Talladega, Daytona.
No, then she'd definitely outdrive us, because she's good at those tracks. But regardless, she's not just. It was a
driver and good equipment.
it was a popularity thing. Stuart
Basically how
Haas
she is.
Stuart Haas knew they were going to get a shitload of money from GoDaddy, and that's why she got hired in the first place. And then a couple other companies jumped on board and stuff like that, and that's why Danica got hired in the first place. Her results have been completely subpar compared to the other drivers. Kevin Harvick destroyed for 2 years. Granted, the results don't show it, save for the fact that he did get the championship. His win
his
total.
first year at SHR.
His win total should have been like 25 wins in 2 years. Yeah, absolutely no doubt about that. Kurt Busch has failed to perform at Stuart Haas. I don't know what's going on with the big teams. The only big team that's doing anything. It's a Toyota thing. Just Toyota's dominating. You can't stop them.
And as of this moment, I think it's just more on the bodies of the car, because Ford was competitive at the beginning of the year. They fell off in the middle. Now they're coming back. Chevrolet, we were never really 100% there, to be honest. And I do think it's the bodies. So next year, I'm excited to see what happens.
Has found something with that car that
His
works.
crew chief.
I wonder how he's going to
Something
be with the
with
new
the-
body. I'm really curious how he's going to be with the new body. if he's going to adapt to it properly or if it's going to be bad for him.
It's more
Like, 'cause
doubtful.
I know it's not a drastic change. Like
It could be dangerous.
it looks really different, but
Larson
it's
could be
not,
the guy
like,
to beat
an
next year.
extremely drastic change. Obviously, it's just going to be the increased downforce, like you said. But
He could
I'm
he
just
could be the
curious
guy.
if he's going to get better, if he's going to get scarier, or if he's going to just completely
Not be
fuck
able to
up and
control
not
it.
be able to drive the car anymore.
Yeah.
Because he might just love this car right now. He might love the way it is, and then not like the new one.
He's a guy that likes to drive a loose race car. If it's got more downforce and more grip, he might not like it. I don't know. And we'll find out.
He might,
So-
I can see him honestly going somewhere else if he doesn't too. Switching.
I think any team
But on the other
would
hand-
take him right now.
Oh yeah, easily.
But I do think, on the other hand, with the slightly more side force, it's not so much downforce as is side force on the car. I
the
do
next car will
think
be
that'll
faster.
actually help him out. The car itself will be faster. I feel like it's going to take. I think it's going to take Larson 2 or 3. Yeah. I do think it's going to take Larson 2 or 3 races just to get used to the car. But once he gets used to the car in those 2 or 3 races, to know how to get the car set
Yeah.
up, he's going to be gone. That's it. He's just going to be fucking hauling ass.
He's gonna be dominant. Yeah. Unless Ford and Toyota can keep up. He's got so much talent. So let's do a
Alrighty.
quick.
I think we are.
Let's do a rundown of
Kinda
the
pushing
chase
time
real
here.
quick. All right, so we got first place in Martin Truex Jr., which no doubt about that one. Second place Kyle Larson. Then Kyle Busch.
No doubt about that one.
Hello, my fantasy team. Brad Keselowski in fourth.
Red.
Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, who has seemed to have fallen off a little bit lately. Denny Hamlin, Ricky I can't say that. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Stenhouse.
comes in at 8th. Ryan Blaney is in 9th, even though he hasn't run well recently. He's just kind of hanging around. We got Chase Elliott, who probably should be higher, but lacking that win. Ryan Newman, who probably also does not deserve to be in the chase, but he's there because of that win. Kurt Busch probably also doesn't deserve to be there, but that win in Daytona 500. Casey Kane, once again, does not deserve to be there. Got the Brickyard because there were no cars left on the track. All he had to do was drive around it. Austin Dillon, who got a win at, Charlotte? I think it was Charlotte, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charlotte fuel mileage race at the Coke 600.
So Ricky Stenhouse's wins, by the way, were at Daytona and Talladega. So plate tracks are up in the air. Austin Dillon won on fuel strategy, and then we got Matt Kenseth, who had a problem at Richmond, but he's in, and Jamie McMurray snuck in because Clint Boyer had a problem at Richmond thanks to an ambulance. So, do y'all want to do a final four?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's put Carbon on the podium right now and give us that final four.
Alrighty. I'm going to put a little stipulation in mine afterwards, but I'm going to say Truex, Larson, Jimmy Johnson, and Ryan Blaney. Those are my four. With a stipulation being, I question whether or not either Truex or Larson are going to make it. I have a feeling one of them might not make it in the end. It'll be like a shocker kind of like crash or something that takes one of them out. Cough, cough, Truex, what?
Okay.
But that's my. I don't really have a fourth or a fifth driver that could be sneak their way in kind of thing because of it. But maybe Kyle Busch or something like that. But that's my four.
Caboose, you want to throw yours out there?
Yep. Mine will have a little bit of stipulation also. So, my picks, Jimmy Johnson, Truex, Kyle, and Kyle. The only thing is, I don't think Truex is going to make it. I think there's going to be some sort of sabotage from Joe Gibbs Racing that doesn't seem deliberate, but it is, such as a shit motor. And so I'm going to have, let's say Keselowski as my dark horse in the 4.
Alrighty. Well, I guess it's time for my picks then, isn't it? I'm going to go with, I think we're all in agreement with Truex. And Larson. And
Of course.
I'm going to go against the grain now. So I'm going to take Truex, Larson, Brad Keselowski, and here's one for you, Kevin Harvick.
I was thinking Harvick, but I went,
So,
Literally any of the top 10 could make it in, I think. I don't think there's a single person... Wait, sorry, Stenhouse. I don't think Stenhouse will make... Well, actually, he might win Talladega.
yeah, I mean, if
he can
he's
make it,
still in, that's in
to
the
the
Does he
third.
make it that far?
No,
Yeah.
I think it's in the third round, isn't it?
But I could
I thought
totally
it was
see
the second.
Stenhouse making it just because of
It's the
Talladega.
third to last
Because
race.
what is it? If you get a win, you're locked in the final? Unless, like, of course, there's a bunch of wins.
No, you're locked into the next round, not into the finals.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Yeah.
So yeah, apart from Stenhouse, I think that any of the top 10 could definitely make it in.
Okay,
No doubt about it. I think there's a few sneaky ones in the back, but
so there you go.
Sure.
I want Chase to make it. I want him to make
do you
it,
think's be
but
first
I
out?
don't think he will.
Yeah,
first person out.
I'm not seeing
Kane.
Austin Dillon.
I say Austin Dillon.
That'd be my second choice.
Dillon hasn't been running great.
So. Anyways, let's get to Chicago picks real quick and get this shit wrapped up. All right, so
Yeah.
Chicagoland, where Caboose will probably not be joining us for the podcast because he's going to the race and going to be tired as shit for a couple of days after going there.
And I'm also be soaking
Oh, he'll
wet
be
from the rain because there's
He'll be here.
theoretical fucking thunderstorms.
Because we don't do this podcast anyway till Thursday, so.
Anyways,
Well, you just ruined the fucking magic, didn't you, Justin?
well, it's
I mean,
kind
no,
of
we
the
do it
truth.
Monday. We do it Sunday night.
Yeah, we do it as soon as the race
We gotta wait till
ends.
all the frickin' news
We-
comes out, because there's a shit ton of news that comes out on Thursdays.
We did this Saturday night, but we knew all the news ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's the Chicago picks. All right. Let's see. Caboose, hit me with your Chicago picks.
I'm gonna say Truex and Chase. Those are my picks.
Carbon.
Chase, he had a badass car there towards the end, and Truex, well, he's Truex.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Who cares at this point? Let's get crazy. I'm gonna go Kenseth and Junior. Those are my picks.
Okay.
Junior has one win at that track back in 2005.
I am going to
That was a lucky
go
win, but
with Professor I Like to Cheat, Denny Hamlin. And I am also going to go with Dale Jr. as a dark horse.
and guess who was running Junior down in that 2005 race? Kenseth.
Yeah, they came up together. So, yeah, I got Hamlin and Jr. All right, so those are the picks. That'll wrap up the extremely long Broken Shifter podcast for a very interesting Richmond
Toyota
race,
Chevy.
which was
I can't remember what Killen's second pick was.
extremely
Chase, so it's like
chaotic. It was one of the best final restarts we've seen in a while. Where
didn't
guys
watch it.
saved the car. Guys saved the cars and stuff
I
like
was too
that.
busy watching college football.
It was good. Take my word
Watching
for
Ohio
it.
State lose.
All right. For anybody that doesn't know Carbon in person, which I don't either, he's just, he's somebody.
I'm just.
He's
here.
just a voice in his head.
Yeah, just is somebody that haunts me at night. He has a severe hatred for Ohio. So if you're from
Can
Ohio,
you guess where he's from?
feel free to leave a comment and tell him to suck your dick. I don't care. I won't delete the comment.
Bring it.
Anyways, so that's the recap from Richmond and all the week's news. And this has been the Broken Shifter podcast, and I'm Hurdon.
I'm Carbon.
And I'm Caboose.
And we will see you in
Go
the
Blue
chase.